I hopped on BookTok in March
Mhm.
of 2021. Well, 2022. Wait,
No,
what year are
2021.
we? Yeah,
Yeah. So
like
you haven't been on very long,
6 months before,
only a
yeah,
little
the
bit more
book
than a
came out.
year.
Just over a year on BookTok, and just started sharing what I was doing and asking questions and connecting with people. And for me, TikTok was just the perfect social media platform because I'm kind of goofy and I like making jokes and I like just being real and connecting with people and building relationships with
Yeah.
people. And other forms of social media felt very distant and kind of like showy. And I'm not a graphic design, look how cool my smoothie is person. Like I can't do that well. And so I just wanted to just goof off and make silly TikToks. And so I found other people who loved that and loved fantasy books. And it was kind of this perfect marriage of those two things, is like silly people with relatable content and just wanting to be goofy and have fun and love reading fantasy. So I really kind of found my people.
And I remember you saying, like, I just, the reason I'm interested in this is just to get a little bit more exposure, like to readers that I can't reach on, Amazon page reads kind of thing. That's what you were looking for. So you went on sub, your agent takes it out. And then what happens? Tell us the story.
Like 2 days later, I get a message at like 4 a.m. and I'd just woken up and I thought, in my sleepy brain, I thought it was some like spam message or something because it just said call me in all caps. And I blocked the number.
No, you did not. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And then I got an email from my agent being like, I don't know if you saw the WhatsApp, but call me. Like, oh, sorry,
blocked her. That's so funny, Allie.
So I switched it off and put some clothes on. I'm still in my PJs. Called her, and she was like, "Okay, you're not ready." Like David Pomerico from Harper Voyager wants to talk to you about this new series. And I was like, okay, we're thinking like this much. And I'm like, me, and my brain exploded. I was like running around like a little, chicken with my head cut off, wanting to like go run around telling everyone. I was like, Harper Voyager. And I remember messaging you and I was like David, and you're like, not David Pomerico.
I said, not David Pomerico, and he works with Pam Spangler Jaffe, and like she is, I think she's Pam Spangler now. Like she's everything. Like that would be the best team for you. Oh my God. Yeah.
And so I was just, like, oh my God, what do I say? I don't, just very, very like super excited, I can't play it cool. I have zero cool in me.
I would love you. That's one of the best things about you. I also have zero cool. That's why we connect. I would love to hear about that conversation when you were talking to David and what you said about your characters. And I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, most of it, because he has the like whole spiel down of like, this is what we do and these are the things we're thinking, and so had already pretty much answered all of my questions before I even had them, but then at the end, and because you hear so many stories, and for me the biggest thing about why I self-published the series was to protect my characters, and particularly my queer characters and my non-binary characters, and
not to mention your characters of color too.
Yes, exactly. And my neurodivergent characters and my disabled characters, like I didn't want anything to change about them and who they represented for me in my life and my friends and family. And so I said to him, I really want to make sure that the characters don't change. And, that's the one thing that's really important to me, because on the one hand, I love the idea that more people can see themselves in the fantasy world, and being with someone like Harper Voyager, they're going to be able, so many more people are going to be able to discover these books and feel represented for the first time in these worlds. And so I kind of said that, I really
like, are you going to fire me now? Or are you going to hang up on me?
Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, that's the deal breaker or something, like in my head, of course. And he pans the camera down and he's wearing a shirt that says protect trans kids. And I wanted to cry like right then and there, because I was like, this is it. This is like who I should be with. And this is like the best place I could, trust my books and my stories and my characters with. And seeing all of the diversity within the authors and the stories that they tell in Harper Voyager too, like I was just like, oh my gosh, what a blessing it would be to have my books attached to,
along with
this
Tolkien
house.
and Janelle Monáe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back to Tolkien. I just went so red,
that,
like with tears and like emotion. Yeah.
I mean, when I saw the Tolkien, they have new covers coming out for like the new Rings of Power series, which my partner works on, and like we live in New Zealand, so we're all attached to the world of Tolkien. And my pet hedgehog was in the Hobbit films, and
literally,
so just
yes,
literally, yeah.
yeah.
And so I just, how wild is that? It was what a awesome thing. I wish I could run back to the kid who wrote that Tolkien quote in their quote journal day for inspiration. Your books are going to be there.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And let's go into money now. They offered you a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
We're talking we're talking 7 figures, and we're talking more than 7 figures. We're not going to go into exact details, but more than 7 figures. Can you tell us how that feels, please?
I still am in shock. But I just started crying, because I mean, for me, my goal was to make a living with my writing and to be able to have my stories reach people, and so the idea that I could, our family was like trying to find like childcare and schools for our kids and a house that could set us both up to have offices and things like that. And all of a sudden that just became a possibility, like, and what a life-changing thing that was for us, and how much, I'm going to get emotional, I'm going to start crying, but like, it was such a big thing for us, and how much we could, improve our lives. And I remember, waking my husband up being like, this is just, you won't believe what's just happened. And so, yeah, that was a pretty surreal moment. And that was really hard not telling anyone.
For like months we have known. You did tell us, thank God, on text. And I think I was the same as you. Like, I misread some of the numbers. I'm like, oh my God, that's so much money. And then somebody else says, no, did you realize that's like per book? I'm like, what?
Yeah, well, because so first we this new trilogy that I wrote, the first book and we went out on sub with, was the one that we first talked about with them and signed on with them. It's called the Golden Court series,
and none of those were published. These were
no.
This was the book you wrote on spec and put out on sub.
Yes.
Okay, so let's make that clear. That's what they were offering on. And
then they said, we'd really be interested in the 5 Crowns of Aqua series too. And I was kind of like, oh, well, like that would be awesome. We'll see.
But complex, like you already had the 2 books up, and you had the 3rd book up for pre-order, and basically it would have already been launched by now, right? Wouldn't it have launched last week or something?
2 weeks before the release date. And so I was really panicking about it, thinking like, do they really want it? Are they serious? Or I'm such a kind of don't celebrate until the ink is dry sort of person. And so when I remember when we got the call about the offer for the Aqua series, and my agent was just like, you're not ready. You're not ready. And so now to be doing my current series, the 5-book series, and this brand new series with them. Because I remember writing the first book in that series and telling all of our writing friends, like, I kind of started it off with this character one way, and then they became like a gender fluid character throughout the story. And I thought, I don't know, well, nobody, like, no publisher is going to want this story about a gender fluid person kind of realizing that stepping outside of the gender binary and things like that set amongst a fantasy romance, but I thought, I got to do it because this is so
You followed your heart.
Relate so much to this character and what it feels like to be something outside of, you know, just, no, quote unquote, just a woman, but
it's
and
people want to read
I
it.
wanted that to be, you know, what this character was. And so I thought, you know, this might be a little risky, being like the first traditional book I put out there. And you know, here we are. I'm so glad that I didn't second guess that.